You've probably seen them mentioned in news or social media, and you may have been lucky enough to see them in the night sky, and even luckier if you've seen a train of them. But what's Starlink and how can you see them? Coming up in this episode on What's Up. Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Tom Owen. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified of new videos. Got any comments? Stick them down below. So Starlink is a satellite constellation being constructed by SpaceX to provide satellite internet across the world. The constellation will consist of thousands of mass-produced small satellites in low Earth orbit, creating a net and working in combination with ground receivers, providing global internet even in hard-to-reach areas. SpaceX just planned to sell some of the satellites for military, scientific and exploratory purposes, and the development facility in Redmond, Washington houses the Starlink research, development and manufacturing, as well as an on-orbit control operations center with the total cost estimated by SpaceX in 2018 of $10 billion. So product development started in 2015, with the first two prototype test flight satellites launched in February 2018. A second set of test satellites and the first large deployment of a piece of the constellation occurred in May 2019, when the first 60 operational satellites launched in one batch. As of 2020, SpaceX is launching 60 satellites at a time, aiming to deploy 1,584 to provide near global service by late 2021 or 2022. Concerns have been raised about the long-term danger of space debris resulting from placing thousands of satellites in orbit, and the possible impact on astronomy. But SpaceX have quoted that Starlink is on the leading edge of on-orbit debris mitigation, meeting or exceeding all regulatory and industry standards. At the end of the life, the satellites will utilize their onboard propulsion systems to deorbit over the course of a few months. In the unlikely event that propulsion systems become inoperable, the satellites will burn up in Earth's atmosphere within 1 to 5 years, significantly less than the hundreds of thousands of years required at higher altitudes. Starlink satellites are equipped with ion thrusters powered by Krypton. And no, Elon hasn't harnessed the powers of Superman's home planet. These thrusters enable the satellites to orbit, raise and maneuver in space or deorbit at the end of their useful life, making Starlink the first Krypton-propelled spacecraft ever flown. And let's face it, just being able to say your satellites are powered by Krypton is pretty damn cool. Starlink satellites utilize inputs from the Department of Defense debris tracking system to autonomously perform maneuvers and avoid collisions with space debris and other spacecraft. SpaceX say this capability reduces human error, allowing for a more reliable approach to collision avoidance. On Starlink 2, one of the satellites had an experimental coating to make it less reflective, and on launch on the 4th of June included one satellite with an experimental sunshade. On the 15th of October 2019, the US Federal Communications Commission submitted filings to the International Telecommunication Union on SpaceX's behalf to arrange spectrum for 30,000 additional satellites to supplement the 12,000 satellites already approved by the FCC. To put that into perspective, there's only about 2,000 artificial satellites currently in orbit around the Earth, and only 9,000 have ever been launched in all of history. So yeah, that's a lot of satellites. They will interact in a big net around the world, talking to each other and the ground transmitters, so that the basics of internet can be obtained in areas that previously they couldn't. This will have a huge impact for things like medical aid and information, tech and business support, and maybe FaceTiming your nan whilst you're out on a hike, especially as they're aiming to supply speed of 1 gigabyte. And if Elon can do that from space, then maybe local internet companies need to up their game. So I'm sure you're now asking yourselves, how can I see them? Well, the next two planned launches are set for the 12th and 24th of June this year, with them both releasing 60 more satellites each. In the description of this video, you'll see some links where you can track them depending where you live. Now, I know here in the UK, they come up pretty much from west to east, so the tools on these links are really useful and you can pretty much track them real time by the second. Then it's just a case of heading outside, looking up, and you should see a load of small white dots going across the sky. And if you're really lucky, on an early pass after launch, when they are still closely bunched, you might see what's called a train, where there will be a long line of them. Try and have it as dark as possible so that your eyes adjust and you can see them better. Avoid looking at your smartphone or other light sources, and you should get a pretty good view as they pass. Even days and weeks after a launch, I find you can still see them randomly in the night sky. You just need a little bit of patience and to have a look. So there you have it. That's SpaceX's Starlink satellites. Thanks for watching, and remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out future videos, and if you've got any comments, stick them down below. I've been Tom Owen, and you've been watching What's Up.